While student engagement is the first of our 7 circles, we need to acknowledge one thing right off the bat. All 7 of these circles are about student engagement, right? All about serving students and seeing students be successful. Student engagement plays a significant role in our students' potential for success and achievement, and the college's educational master plan, as you can see here, acknowledges that. It's tied to student achievement, and research shows that fostering engagement should lead to a more successful student body. Educational research has been studying this for 15 years, tying student engagement with academic success, all of it finding student engagement as intentional and persistent on both the part of the student and the part of the institution. That is, the institution must provide ongoing means and incentives for students to be engaged, and students must learn, with our assistance, that it's important to accept the responsibility to become fully and habitually engaged in their roles as college students, both in and outside of the classroom. All of the research defines student engagement as educationally purposeful activities. Let me give you an example of one that I encountered this week. Marvelina Barcelo, in counseling, sent out an email last week about an event on Wednesday, Pizza with the Private Universities. I did my duty, I forwarded it to several students, and I imagined that would be the end of it. I wouldn't hear anything more of that. On Wednesday afternoon, I was contacted by a student who was beside himself with excitement. He'd met with a rep from Whittier College, his dream school, a school he thought he might transfer to 2 or 3 years down the road. And the rep told him he had the units and the grades to transfer this fall if he wanted to. This single event changed the student's life, changed the student's perspective. It altered his half-hearted plans to major as a respiratory therapist at East LA College. He now plans to apply for transfer to Whittier College in the fall as an English major, I'm happy to say, based on his attendance at this single event. The research confirms significant positive impact on students' success, their retention, their persistence, and their completion if we can get them to engage, especially early in their first year. The RP group, there we go, in Sacramento has just completed the 3-year survey of California community college students. And as you can see from these results, students report wanting to be more fully engaged in the college in academically meaningful ways. And they want to feel connected to the institution. However, from our own research, we know that students aren't engaging in the ways that we hope that they will. Over the past 2 years, in 2011 and 2012, we've conducted our own student engagement survey on campus. And we know, based on students' self-reported results, that their greatest weakness is linking up. None of these scores are great. Our students self-assess as C students, which is depressing if it's indicative of their worldview or their expectations for themselves. When it comes to making connections with peers, with professors, with staff members, joining academic clubs, visiting the Success Center, using college resources, our students acknowledge they're performing at a C or a D level. The implications? Well, students, by their own admission, are reaching only for the lowest hanging fruit. It's the goal of the institution to provide both the opportunities for students to become engaged, sometimes perhaps even to require that they become engaged, and for faculty and staff to continue to drive students toward engagement and achievement. A quick note about this chart. We aren't doing better year to year from 2011 to 2012. We changed the survey instrument significantly in 2012, but you can see, even though these are 2 different surveys, the pattern is almost identical. We'll be doing this again this spring as we measure students' perspectives on student engagement. So there are a variety of very important things that the college is doing to engage students and to perform, to improve student success. These initiatives are in ongoing development, and their goals and priorities will shift as we assess student needs during the coming years. Faculty and staff can best support student engagement in 3 ways. 1, you're going to hear this from me, continue to integrate iFalcon into your classroom discussions, into your assignments, into your talks with students at counters, into your discussions with students in public spaces. This is vital. The more students hear that college representatives identify these as significant habits of student success, in particular linking up, the more they internalize these behaviors and expectations. Coaching Core is another way that you can engage students. You'll be getting more information on this brand new program on the way up today. 2, we know from all of our data that what's going on inside the classroom is excellent. Now we need to engage students outside the classroom. This is really important, to cause them to recognize their own responsibility for academic success. Begin conversations in your program, your department, your area on how to engage majors and prospective majors and other students in new extracurricular ways that will push them to take on the responsibility to achieve success. And 3, ask students 2 questions. What is your major? How long have you been at Cerritos College? These 2 questions can create a pretty effective snapshot of the student's academic focus and intent, or lack of it, and can lead to a conversation about what a student ought to be doing to be more fully engaged with the institution outside of the classroom. This will take repeated cajoling, demanding, and pressure from us. Students know they ought to be linking up with college resources, and we have to find ways to make them take responsibility for doing so.